All right, so please, once again, you're all welcome. We shall allow the teacher for yes, they easily tell us about the issue that she has as some of you are aware, we started with the student but we realized that there's a need to help the people that are not doing. So she talked so that we all understand of having a survival. As we wait for her, I know a lot of us know some of the importance of when you are having that experience. You don't even have to travel, you don't even have to get the dollars. Yes, you can be there and still get the cash with the right skills, the right knowledge. Right? Yes. Microsoft is in the American company. The issue is not in America. I think it's in Pakistan or Indonesia, right? Now, the biggest issue where the jobs are, right? Because Microsoft realized that we spend so much money when they have a job, I still see there. So assuming either is coming to have an office. Secondly, the first thing that we consider where are the Ghanaians that are having the that's the first question we ask ourselves. Because we were to bring people from outside, it would have mean fighting for their visa, their travel, flights, a whole lot of costs. So you ask, where are the people with the increasing knowledge? So if you happen to be one, then you get it. And these jobs usually annual salary around $150. It's huge money from that of the community as people that doesn't like them. So that's one here. So, Letitia, are you online?
Yes, I am here.
All right, so our teachers are ready to hear from you.
Yeah, thank you, guys. I'm sorry I can't show my face. It is 6 a.m. and I'm still sleepy. So, Mia, sorry. I look terrible. I can't show my face. But thank you, guys. Thank you, Yaya. Thank you, Richard. Thank you, Sadiq, Ken Sadiq. I thank you, the teachers, more like I always think about you guys since you're free, you're back Ghana and meeting some of you, talking with some of you, and the passion that you guys have for the children. It's amazing. I don't know how to express it. You guys have special tenacity, Mo enyama mo yema Ghana nkola no. Enye se bia kenti. You guys give all of your best. And ye ba ye no, ye be unhuye. And what I can say is money yo, I mean Shramo, for all that you guys do for Ghana and for helping raise the future generation of Ghana. I have maybe who be brave a lot. And every day I ask myself, and then the we had a little sit down with some of you, and you guys expressed some ICT training. Now, the money was not there and it's still not there. But maybe me Richard, Sadiq, ne other people, Tony, say, and we could not say so. Sekeni hon to the end train. I met me, like I say, some of us know you call clear savings, just say you best start to start the way say. And for you guys to show up and a power say, Tramo. And what I can say is say, what I say to help. And we will need more encouragement and then more dedication to help us to push forward. We're a partnership. And we're a partnership. It's a partnership with you guys. So you help the student. So much I say. So and you're only Ghana for and you're only the students and mobile boa. Muankasa mumba munuanom can benefit from this. So the country Ghana, the community can also benefit from this. And that's the whole goal. Knowledge transfer. Richard, Sadiq, Yaya, the team has a lot of knowledge. And right now, they want to impart. So, and thank you guys. I have Tony also here. The next class, we have a survey, and then we want to know more about and all those stuff. Please serve anybody. Be honest with what you know and you don't know. And over I'm creative courses for more. And Tony is working on some classes, also courses or training out of the Bremo. Amazingly, I just got a text message from one of your teachers, and I want to say thank you for the encouragement. I appreciate you sending me that message, because sometimes, in this journey of I kind of say NGO, sometimes it's very lonely, when you are looking for money and money is nowhere to be found. But when I hear those encouraging words from you guys, it keeps us going. And thank you guys for showing that you're on board them, and this is very, very needed. So I will just end here. I'm going to give it to Tony, whatever that he also have to say. Tony was with the kid of so he knows robotic stuff, so he really knows we were all on the ground and the who be brave. But it's like they be a say complaining adults. You bet me are complaining, but at the end of the day, what can we do? That's the question. We can complain every day. The government have not done this. The community have not done this. The parents have not done this. The world have not done this. All those stuff. But we individually, a DNA bit to me to bring change. I hope that makes sense. So the change comes from us. The progress will come from us. Ghana is going to change. If Ghana is going to be better and be the envy of the world, it will come from us individually. Nobody will come from outside Ghana to make Ghana better. I'm going to say this. If the person was not born in Ghana, maybe 1 in a million, but the majority of the people, if they are not from Ghana, they don't have the best interest of Ghana than we Ghanaians. I hope I'm making sense. Yenya crow. Say and they want it to be the envy of the world. We have to work for it. America, Europe, all those people, they work to make their countries the envy of the world. And therefore, we also have to work for our country to make it the envy of the world. And to know, I'm not going to talk too much. If it will be a question, I'll be to me Busame. Just for the sake of time, I'm going to pause here. Yeah.
Is Tony going to talk or the questions should come?
Yeah. So,
Tony, just in case.
hey, Chairman, how are you doing, Chairman?
You're on the floor.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So, what Letitia was saying about the student, we came in and we saw what is happening on the ground, and I can say that when you are a teacher in Ghana, it is not money that you are looking for. You are actually doing sacrifices, because from the things that we hear in Ghana and what is going on, and you being a teacher, train up the next generation, and the things that you are going through, it's like the love that you have for the children, and which we really thank you for that. And of course, that nobody will come from outside to have a deeper feeling to teach, to teach what you guys are doing. You know, when somebody come from outside to do the teaching, that one in the name of the government, they do respect and say, okay, let's pay this person. But the knowledge that they have and the knowledge that you have, it is just a small understanding of them teaching you guys what to do, or giving you guys the necessary equipment to use. So we came in and we saw, and I went to, I believe I went to RC, the teacher said, dry RC, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I went to see their computer lab, and it was okay. There's always a beginning, right? And also them teaching the children, when you are teaching the kids, there are some fundamentals that you have to know, right? There's a fundamental, the basics that you have to know and understand. Then from there you build upon. So when we came, and the assumption when we came that, oh, some of them understood what a computer is, right? So we did not even start from there. It was later that we came. That is when we realized that, you know what, let's start from the basics. So over the past 3 weeks, we have been opening computers, going through the motherboard, what it means. And I believe that some of the teachers too will be nice if they also go through that section, so that we can start from somewhere and start teaching, right? We can start from somewhere and start. If it is books that we have to get from here, what did they call it? ICT book, right? Books on A plus, books on network plus, books on security plus, that we can send there, that the teachers can also go through and teach the children. Because these kinds of books, or these kinds of education, is not only to Ghana, but it is to the world, right? If you know it, and if you understand it, computer language is one language. Computer language is not Chi or Fanti or that. Computer language is just one language, the same language that is used all over the world. So if you are in Ghana and you understand that, if you are in Ghana and you understand computer things, you are also a par with the international, right? So that is what some of the things that we are planning to do with this team. So, Chairman, I yield my case.
All right, Tony, yes, indeed. Thank you very much. Please, teachers, we've heard them. Is there any question that you would like to ask? All right, so that we can answer yes before we begin our session. Please, any question that's bothering your mind, this is the opportunity. All right. Yes. Any question? Yes, sir.
Okay.
No problem. Right. We thank you so much for the opportunity to give us. It's our plea and our request that this workshop or day shouldn't be a one-day wonder, but it should be a continuous one to help the other teachers who are not able to make it today to also apply that knowledge and help impart it on our children and young ones, so that at the end of the day, as your goal is being achieved, you also be satisfied. It is all right.
Yeah.
Hello?
Yes. I
We thank
couldn't
you for-
hear, so
Yeah, you sound far away. I know that we are far away.
me.
No, the
We indeed appreciate your kind gesture given to us and extended to us. We are requesting that it shouldn't just be a one-day wonder, but the workshop or training should be a continuous one to also help the other teachers who have not been able to make it for today. So that at the end of the day, as we get the knowledge, your objective of bringing up this opportunity to us will also be satisfied. This is what we want to plead with. Thank you.
Thank you.
thank you.
Yeah. Richard, Yaya, and Sadiq, and other teachers. There will be some times that people are going to teach you on Zoom, okay? And what we are planning, like I said, dedication. Don't start today, and then the next training you say you can make it, because you're gonna miss something. I hope I'm making sense. So if we start today, you are here, we are going to agree on a time and a date that works for all of us. And so you put on your calendar, whatever that is going on in your life, you place that in there, that on Saturday or whatever day you all agree on, we have this. So you, and you say, Bia, I did bet you, and I say a week before, no, then no see, oh, me to me, but emergencies happen when you're not in him. But some of us are negligence also. So right now, yes, that's it. Let's all together, right now, a team, anybody that fall out of the cracks, no, or leave space out there. And we don't want that. So let's all together, or moment to me and Ben, they have a chance to join the next one. Richard and the team, they are going to try and record this for them. And so I'm going to try, so they will record. So that moment to me and Ben, they can follow. We have Google Classroom that we are going to have you guys join. Does it make sense? So we will document everything on the Google Classroom, so that a moment to me and Bano, they can go back and watch those stuff and then do whatever assignment. There will be assignment, because it's not when you teacher for my assignment. So it means my assignment. Over say the tables have turned. Yeah, there will be assignment. Why? So when the assignment comes, that to show say money. I thereby acquire a person who say, aha, Paul. We want you guys to really know. So practice, practice, practice. Because you can easily defend what you know. So you can easily show somebody. You can be a master of this. I have someone friend about the crampo, subject matter experts. So you can be subject matter expert on even Microsoft Word, Excel, this. So computer bar, that's a say, yeah, you will be able to know how to troubleshoot those things. And when you the computer say, not a auto home. Or be any sad time, because I buy now this, Nyamane Bano, he's not gonna bring you a kind of saying, or more fix it. To one yet when who's how to help you fix your own stuff, no. We also had a say, if you are part of the kids, now you should be. And to know, we want you guys to really take control, take charge. So with that being said, yes, it will not be a one-time thing. And then we are recording them. Richard, we will give you guys a link so you can go back and rewatch it. Then on top of it, Google Classroom, it will be there. So you guys will have access to it. And then we will continue conversation over there. And Google Classroom is a very powerful tool. And if you get to know how to use it proper now, you can get your kids, your classes, your students to also use Google Classroom. That is what the almost America hanging now, all schools, unless they have a different platform, about 80% of the school when you use Google Classroom. And in Klano, when you now, when you're okay, I don't uncle school, no. That's why I log in to the Google Classroom. Now assignment in go home. The classmates in now home. But my casa, this. So we are trying to get Ghana to be a toe-to-toe with the rest of the world. For my long answer, and say we are going to do our very best, but we will need you guys also to show say you're boredom. That's what I'll say. Thank you.
Yeah, as for the teaching materials and things needed, we will do our best to produce, but we want the teachers to also put their participation on and also learn. Like what she was saying, that a subject matter expert, is true. Some people's job is to identify that this is a motherboard and they get paid. So some people, there is a subject matter. If you go to Microsoft, they will call you a SME, right? They will call you that, hey, I'm a SME. What is the SME? I'm a Word or a Teams SME. I'm this SME, subject matter expert or engineer in a thing that you know. So if you know one thing, you can also you become an expert in it. And that is the education that we want to introduce, or which is there to enhance. Chairman, I yield my case again.
Sorry. Any more? Because I'm perceive more time when you know. Okay. If nothing. And the woman, thank you guys. Seriously, I'm being a woman and I'm just saying, but back then I didn't see that many women teachers. So for you guys to be among the male-dominated profession, good job. And just know that you have your biggest cheerleader here. Whatever that we can partner to make things work, I am here. Don't, and like I said, Kakai, whatever. If you want to send me a message about anything, by all means, you're kind of saying, when I get the time, I would definitely respond. I have me one Colombians and all kinds of craziness going on in my life, but just know that I don't ignore people. If anything, I respond. And my phone or my WhatsApp is open in any situation. Thank you, guys.
And the question that are most of you on the going to teach the what is it called?
ICT.
ICT, yeah.
Majority of them are, but most of them are math teachers, English teachers. So we open it to everybody. So yeah, all the teachers know, they are going to know how to use computers and how to teach with computers. You don't have to be an ICT teacher to know it.
Yeah, that is the fundamentals. So I hope that you all be comfortable in that using technology to actually teach, and to be comfortable using the technology to teach. Over the pandemic, over here, that is when they realized that technology has become a big key in teaching and in doing stuff. So we hope that we are not going to scare you guys away.
No.
If it is a keyboard that you think that you are going to press to break it, press and break it. right?
Yeah.
Some people, they are scared, hey, if I touch the keyboard or if I touch the mouse in a certain way, you are going to break it. Okay, break it. After all, when you break it, you yourself can fix it. Right? So that is the place that we want to go. Any more questions?
If nothing, like he said, don't be afraid. Technology is man-made. Don't be afraid. Just like you're not afraid of the goats, don't be afraid of computers. Don't be afraid, because you got to be able to master, take power over that, and to know there will be some time that things are going to be challenging. We're going to record. You can take your time and go back and replay. I don't know, say they have other computer centers in DND. Richard, it's not only Ochimodin for. You can connect with Richard. Say, Richard, I want to come around and practice some stuff. And I can guarantee you, he will open the door, say, okay, but say never share. Doesn't make sense. He's not. So if anything, that's a one here. And I think it says Sadiq so say Edra for no when you have some computer center be or Edra. So we're gonna see how we can also try and make that one accessible by buying data and stuff over there. And you know, say more and more Edra no, you want to also go there and practice during the week. No, you can practice because at the end also one follow one review. Now one practice. See, I'll be also for the already fee. And you know, and my name say be a back class and kwa. And now we'll be practicing, and that's all be your juma. Let's try to be proactive and keep on doing it. The way now and Kulan, much and I say at the chamu you know. That's also the way you guys feel. We don't I mean somebody about Bagana, ain't you know. We might try together. Let's push this for ourselves, for our children, and for Ghana and the world in general. So I'm done. Richard and Sadiq and Yaya, over to you guys. We cannot hear you in case you are talking.
Letitia, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. Now, I was saying that Tony told us you could just be an expert in Word, and that alone can make you engaged. All right. So it means that whatever that you're going to do here is pretty much important. So you don't say, okay, I only know Word, I know this, but that. So it means whatever that you're going to do here, when we are able to take it very seriously, it means we have a future for it. Is that not it? Yeah, so that's the few things I would have to say. So we dedicate ourselves and our time and make this particular project a reality. Thank you very much. Please, good morning. Today we are going to look at what the computer is, the parts of the computer, and how information is being processed on the computer. Do you sometimes wonder how maybe when you're using your phone, you type in something, then it gives you the information that you want back? Yeah, that is what we call the information processing by using the computer. Today we are in a technological world, and everything is about technology. And we cannot do away computers when it comes to technology. I would say they are two for me, or it's like they are twins. Let me put it that way. You cannot do away with one, because the moment technology comes into place, you have to get a computer to be able to come out with all the technologies that you have in your mind. Okay, so today we are going to look at what a computer is. Can someone say
Can you share your screen, Richard? Or is it possible you can share your screen?
the screen?
Yeah. Awesome. So a moment to me and Bano, they'll be able to see it. Thank you. That is perfect.
So a computer is an electronic device that takes input, process it, and come out with the needed or meaningful information that we want. Okay, so any device that can accept an input, process the input, and come out with the meaningful information is what we refer to as what? A computer, right? We said there are 4 basic functions of the computer. That is to accept data. That is making the input. Then we have the processing of data. Then it produces the output. That is the output of information. Then if you want to store at the end of the day, we refer to as the storage. So these are the 4 basic functions of the computer. It accepts, process, and it output. That's why the beginner said a computer or a device which can accept data, process it, and come out with a meaningful information is what we refer to as a computer. Right? Based on these functions, one can also define computer as a device that accepts data, process the data, and bring it out as meaningful information and store for future use. So after all this process, if you're able to store your information on the device, your device is a computer. We are going to look at how information is being processed on the computer. We said information has become an important part of our everyday life. This is because we live in the information age. We can't live today without giving any consideration. Okay, we can't live today without giving any consideration to information. Everywhere you have, that's why most of the time you see us, even in car, everywhere people will be looking on their phone just to look for information. Okay, so people, countries and companies have realized the importance of information and have invested largely in acquiring the device that helps in collecting, processing, distributing, and storing of information. That is what the computer does. And you can get all this information when you have a device known as a computer. Our phone is a computer because we make inputs and it processes and later comes out with the information. Okay, there's no way we can live without information. It has become part of us. Computers and information have become great partners whereby you can separate them and are constantly changing the way people interact. Okay, there are so many ways that people use to interact with the help of a computer, either by emails. Now we have WhatsApp chats, Google chat. We even have Google chats, where you can chat when you're on Google. There are so many ways you can chat. People today have also worked harder or paid to acquire the information that they need. Because information are very, very important, people have to pay. Sometimes when you go to the internet to search for some information, they can ask you to make payment before you get the full information that you want. So now we realize that information has become part of us, which we cannot live without. We are looking at data as part of the information processing. Or as I said, we are looking at how information is being processed. Okay. So data can be defined as raw material or unorganized facts. When we talk about data, it's like going for a material in the market. At the end of the day, you cannot use or you cannot get any meaningful thing from the material unless you send it to a tailor or a seamstress to process it and come up with the design of the outfit that you are looking for. Okay, so we said data can be defined as raw material or unorganized facts. I hope you understand that question. Yes. Data can be grouped under various types, including numbers, words, and symbols. Okay, so data can be obtained in two ways, either from the primary source or the secondary source. From the primary source, there are data or facts obtained firsthand, usually through interviews, questionnaires, and surveys. Okay, I want to know Madam's name. I want to collect the data. I want to know her name. That's the primary source I'm talking about. Just come straight to her. Please, what's her name? When she's able to give me the name, I am the first person to know the name. I don't need to go and ask my brother here. Please, what's her name? When she's able to give me the, when it's able to give me a name, that will be the secondary source of data. But the primary source, you going to the person or obtaining the information that you want from the person is what we refer to as the primary source of data. But the secondary is asking another person to give you the information about, other than the person himself or himself. So I think I'll talk about the secondary data. Also, for data to be useful, it has to be reliable, accurate, without error, presentable, and without bias. Okay, for a data to be useful, it has to be useful, it has to be reliable, it has to be accurate, without error, presentable, and without bias. Meaning when you are giving out any data out, you should make sure there are no lies. You should make sure that what the information that you want or what you are giving out is correct. There shouldn't be any error. There shouldn't be bias. When we talk about bias, when do we say the data is presentable? When there is no error in it, when it makes sense, when the data is without fault, that's where, because when I'm here, if I come to give you something, then it is accurate. I can say the data is presentable. Because at the end of the day, you'll be able to get what you want from the data. You get me? Yeah. So we've looked at data. Now we are looking at information. We said information can be defined as a processed data that has passed through the information processing cycle. Yes, something known as the information processing cycle. Let me use the phone mail machine as an example of an information processing cycle. When we go to grind our maize, you see the phone shape is where we throw or put in the maize. Then the man will be behind a small hole there. He will be taking out the bag once out. Then from there, the flour that we get is what we are all looking for. It's what we can use for our foods and other things. That's why we said information is defined as a processed data that has passed through the information processing cycle. So for data to be classified as information, it has to pass through the information processing cycle. It has to be a data without error. The data has to be accurate. The data has to be presentable. When all these things are done, we classify that data as information. Please, I hope you are clear. Now we are looking at the stages of information processing cycle. There are 3 stages. In some books, or in other people can say there are 5, because you add distribution and the storage to it. But we are looking at the main stages. There are 3. Because when I get my information, I can decide to keep it to myself. I can decide not to store. You get me? So most of the time when we are looking at the stages of information, we first look at the first 3. That is, information processing cycle is defined as the steps that data must follow to become useful information. There are 3 primary stages of the information processing cycle. These are input of data, processing of data into information, then output of information. There are other processes such as the distribution and the storage. As I said, most of the time you sit behind a computer doing certain things without saving. Because you may not, it will not be useful, you just do anything without saving. But when we save, or when we are able to distribute, it forms part of the information that we want to have. Okay.
The last time I was teaching my EBI, okay, and the information processing cycle, it was 5 or 5. So I also learned somewhere that the information processing cycle is 4. So when I was comparing with the book, I was confused, like, what should I go and tell the people? What are the stages? So I decided to choose the 4. When I went to the class, I told the people that the stages of information processing cycle is 4. One people went ahead and read another book and they said, I read this book and said the information processing cycle is 5. So how come it's 4? So I was confused that, okay, that book is not accurate. Yes, and I told the child that book is not well prepared. So let's take it one. So as you are telling us that you should take the 3. Should you send to the people or?
Yeah, you tell them, you first, because the stages involve 3. Because at the end of the day, the 3rd stage comes out with the meaningful information. That's the output of information. As I said, after getting my information, it is up to me to either distribute the information or store. Or it is up to me to either store or just, in this case, the stages depends on the user. Yes, the stages depends on the user you are using. But the primary stages are 3. Because that's what at the end of the day, the information that you want at the end of the day you have. Because we have the input of data. When you make the inputs, it has to pass through the processing stage. After processing, then you get your information that you want. So it is up to you, to either distribute I can have my money with me and decide, oh, let me give it out. I can still decide to keep that money to myself. So at the end of the day, the last two is not all that necessary. But when you are teaching, let them know that the basic stages are real. But yes, additional to because of so you have to say the way. The other time you have to give in the theory, you have to give 5. So you teach all. So that when it's 5, they will know that we have to add the distribution and storage to it. But when they demand for the 3, is the input, processing, and the output. So I'm going to ask you, so in case you are asked a status of information and it is objectives. Which one are you going to take? Is it supposed to be 3 or 5? It's depending on the theory. I think maybe they will specific 3 or 5. Yes, and if it's objectives, if they want all the 3, they will bring the 3. If they want the 5, they'll bring the 5. But it can't be. You can't have 3 and half 5. 5, yes. You can't have that. Because in fact, I think that being seen, when they did list the stages of the information processing cycle, right? A, input, arrow, then you have processing, then output. Then later, the second, the D, they will be just be interchanging, yes, the thing. Is are you all clear there? Okay, my question is, so in a course of teaching, does it mean that you should tell the people that we have secondary, we have primary processing cycle and then secondary processing cycle? No. Let me answer. Okay. The first 3 are basic, they are the basic ones, the basic ones that are most essential. Yes. But the other 2, the last 2 are optional. That is, if you want it. But with respect to teaching the people, I think teaching them the 5 is very, very relevant here. But let them know that if you are asked to state the 3 basics, you have to state the first basic. That's how you should do it. Is that okay? Yes, in addition to that, mostly we also have books approved by EBI. So sometimes you learn something out of those books. It's very essential because I think it's very good. Different people brings out different theories. So I also suggest that when it comes to a situation like this, you teach with the syllabus. Sometimes we have a kid at our center who goes to classroom and challenge the teacher that there is a click because he clicked 3 times in work and then he can learn some text. And the teacher said, no, at your level, the books you are supposed to learn, there's nothing like equal. So we have 1 click and then double click. So I think that was a very perfect answer because we have levels at which we are supposed to be learning. So teaching them their level is the very best way. Thank you. And then again, Mr. Baker, I don't know whether it should be made available because I thought it was supposed to. Oh, yeah, to be made available. So there's no need to. Well, please let's move on. Then we are looking at the stage 1. That is the input of data. Okay, so data is acquired through various methods, and after acquiring the data, it is then put into a recognizable format that can be processed by the computer. As I use the phone machine as an example. Okay, when you go to the phone and what you are putting in your base in that phone shape, that is what I will tell as the input of data. You can also use the keyboard when you are inputting in data onto the computer. You use the keyboard to do that. Okay, so when you do that, we say you are making an input. And when you make the input, it has to pass through the processing stage. Then we will have our information. So the common device used to enter data into the computer are the computer mouse, keyboard, light pen, joystick, and scanner. All these devices can be termed as input devices. One will ask, what are input devices? They are devices that are used to enter data onto the computer. Okay, so when you're asked to give some examples of input devices, we have mouse, we have keyboard, we have the light pen, we have joystick, and the scanner. I've got a scanner here, and in front of you, you can all see the keyboard and the mouse. See, these devices help in transforming data into a recognizable format for the computer to read correctly without alteration to the data. Okay, so when you use these devices to enter data into the computer, there will be no faults, because they are permanently meant for such purposes. Then we have the second stage as processing of data. After making the inputs, there's a device whose main purpose is to edit, is to take out the bad ones. It's like doing music. When they go to when they are saying that with their main voice, maybe you sleep or you cry. But when they go to the engineer has the aspect of making the music rich. So at the end of the day, when you hear the sound of the music and you are able to nod your head and be shaking your body, and it means you are getting something. It means that music has passed through a certain stage for you to feel the content of the music that you are listening. That is the second stage of the information processing cycle. So this is the stage where the data is manipulated into information. By processing data into information, the data is edited, added to, or removed. That was why when I was using the combi, the man behind the machine, you will see him pushing the good ones forward, then taking out the bad ones. Okay. Yes, you remove, then you add to transform the unorganized fact into something meaningful for the user. The device used to change the data into information is the system unit. So most of the time, majority of the people classify the system unit as the main computer because it does everything. It does majority of the work that can be found on the computer screen. So it is the system unit that is used to do the editing, add or remove and transform the unorganized fact into something meaningful. Do you have any question here?
So for the processing of data, we have only one device that we.
I don't get you.
Like in the input stage, we can get so many.
We can get so many. That's why we made mention of the system. Yes.
So I'm asking for the processing of data. We have only one device.
When we are dealing with the computer, I think it's the system unit that does everything during the processing stage.
What about the CPU and the ALU? Yeah.
The central processing unit.
Yes.
The central processing unit is found inside the system unit.
Because it was a past question. They were asked to list the devices used during the processing stage, and people were writing the ALU, the central processing unit, and the system unit. And I told them it's wrong because they are all found in the system unit.
Let me answer the question with the illustration that you made. From the, the machine have break. So during the process, you see that the break will grant the maize that you are pushing. So the break, we have not mentioned the break here.
Yes.
So during the information processing cycle, there is also a by that the process. That is the CPU that we are referring to. But we have not read there yet.
Is everyone okay there? Okay. Then let's continue. Then we have the third stage. That is the output of information. Okay. So after the processing, what comes out or the meaningful information that we derive from the second stage is what we term as the output of information. This is the last stage of the cycle. The processed data is displayed as information. The organized data known as, I hope you are clear there. The other side, it was unorganized. Now it has passed through the processing stage and it has become organized. It's like combining rice and beans together. Yeah, you will call it wati, but under normal circumstances, you will not have a name for it unless you separate the rice from the beans for you to determine this is rice and this is beans. But you're able to do that. You've gotten the meaningful information that you want. So the organized data is known as information is produced in a form that can be used by the data. Meaning when you get the needed information after the processing stage, you can use it to do whatever that you want because it is meaningful. You've attained or you gain something from it. Okay, so information can be displayed in different forms, either as text printed on a sheet of paper or displayed on the computer monitor. It can be shown as chart, graphs, sound or video. The device used in the output of information include the computer monitor. We have the printer, we have speakers, we have the projector, because at the end of the day, I'm projecting information for you to see. It is displaying. Okay, so all these devices, then we have the plotter as well. The one that they used to making those devices for making those big panels. Yes, it's what we refer to as the plotter. So all these devices are also known as output devices because they display information. Please, any question on the information processing cycle? I will move forward. Yes. In the processing, with the information processing, we were making mention of parts of the computers, like the system unit, the monitor, the keyboard, and the rest. So we are looking at the parts of the personal computer. The personal computer is a system consisting of many components. These components come together to make the computer function efficiently. Meaning, when one part is not there, the computer will not be used. So when they all come together, it helps us to use the computer correctly. You can have the mouse, you can have the monitor without the keyboard. How are you going to enter your data? You can have the monitor without the system unit. How are you going to turn, or how are you going to see your information to be displayed on the screen for you? So every part of the computer is very, very, very important. We are looking at the main components. There are two main components of the personal computer. We have the hardware and the software. Okay, there are two main components of the personal computer. We have the hardware and the software. Most of the time, I use bicycle to explain to my students the meaning of the hardware and the software. You can have the bicycle as a hardware, you can sit, you can hold, but when there is no chain, I don't think you'll be able to go where you want to. Or an asset is a free, and also we'll see the way to. Yeah. So I tell them the big step as the software. It's like the human body. What we see outside is the hardware, but we cannot see what is inside. And what is inside forms the software aspect of the human body. I hope you're all there. So let's carry on. So hardware can be defined as the physical component of the personal computer. Hardware refers to the part of the computer that you can actually see and touch. So what we all see in front of us is the hardware component of the personal computer. There's a keyboard before you, you can touch it. There's a mouse before you, you can see it. There's a monitor before you, you can see it and touch. And there's a system unit at the back. You can equally see it and touch as well. So the common hardware components includes the monitor, the mouse, the keyboard, and the system unit. So this setup is known as the hardware component of the personal computer. Sometimes in exams, they will intentionally include speakers and printers to it. They don't form parts, even though they are hardware as well, but they don't form part of the main component of the hardware. The main components of the hardware are only four: the keyboard, the system unit, the monitor, and the computer mouse. We are looking at software. Software is defined as the instructions that tells the computer how to perform a task in order to process data into information. Yes, as I said earlier on, we cannot see with software, there's no way you can see. If you are able to type A on the keyboard for it to appear on the screen, it is the responsibility of the software to make that happen. Okay, so with the hardware, you can't see. Sometimes when you ask the children, you explain and ask the children what is software. You just know it's software. You can't see software. They say, they say what? There are instructions. No, they have a term for it. I forgot it. You can't see and touch. Or you are going to find software. You just like you cannot see and touch. Yeah. So we are going to take the various parts of the main component and talk about it. Now we are looking at the system unit, the hardware components and their main functions. We said the system unit is one of the most important components of the personal computer. It's like us. I think our brain, not I think, our brain is the main component of our body. The brain does anything. If I want to use that my hand, the brain does everything. So the system unit works the same. So the system unit is one of the most important components of the personal computer. It contains a central processing unit. That's a small device that controls all the operations that goes on within the computer setup. Meaning all the operations that we see on the computer screen is done by the central processing unit. It contains other storage devices like the read-only memory and the random access memory. This is a sample of the system unit that you all know. Yes, in some books, they will tell you when it is standing like this, it's known as the tower system unit. Because I think there are two types. We have the one that lies flat on the table. That one is the desktop system unit. But when you have this type of system unit, it's known as the tower system unit. There's any question on the system unit?
So, boss, please, how are we going to classify the kind of system units at the back of the machine?
This question.
That was my question.
When they bought the system, I also asked, and all that they said is this is the modernized one. So I'm saying this is a modernized system unit. Yes, but I think there's a name for it. Yeah. Yeah, there's a name for it. There's a real name for it. I think I have to find that for myself. So in our next meeting, I'll get you there. Yeah. So let's carry on. Then we have the monitor. Okay. This is the monitor. I hope we've all seen it. The monitor is the screen that displays what is happening inside the computer. It displays images that shows how the computer responds to data that the user provides. The monitor is an output device. Okay, so this is the screen. So everything happening inside the system unit can be found on the monitor. That's why I say the monitor is the screen that displays what is happening inside the computer to the user. Okay, the user is the one behind the computer. There are two types of monitors. We have the cathode ray tube and the slim flat panel. This is the slim flat panel, and the cathode ray tube is the old type with the typical. I don't think it's in the system again. There is a CLF. Really, people use it. Yeah. In this body. Yeah. Wow. Okay. So this is the cathode ray tube, and this is the slim flat panel. In the slim flat panel, we all have one in front of us. We are going to look at their differences. There are differences. Yeah, we are looking at the differences between the two types of monitors. We said the cathode ray tube is bulky and occupies a lot of space, while the slim flat panel is slim and take up little space. So assuming you have a cathode ray tube monitor here, I don't think there will be less space to even put the keyboard. Yes, it's bulky also. You cannot even put it under your armpit, you have to carry it on top of your head. But with the slim flat panel, it's slim, it's flat. See, look at the space here. You can put another thing. That's why I've been able to put my tissue here, my duster, and the water, because it gives you more space to put other things around. Then we have another one. The cathode ray tube is heavy and consumes a lot of electricity. Yes. Sometimes you have to get two people to be able to carry it because it's heavy. With the slim flat panel, I can easily carry it with one hand. It's not heavy, and this one consumes less electricity as compared to the cathode ray tube. Then the cathode ray tube emits a lot of radiation, while the slim flat panels emit less radiation. When you get closer to this, you will not feel any waste entering your eyes. You'll be normal, you'll be okay. But with the cathode ray tube, maybe you have to sit behind and be doing, whatever thing that you are doing in your computer, because it can give you eye problem. So these are the differences between the two types of monitors. Then we move on to keyboard. Yes, the keyboard is also one component of the personal computer. The keyboard is used to send information to the computer. Yes, as we discussed earlier on, if you want to put any information on the computer, you need the services of the computer keyboard. That's why we learned that all the parts come together to work efficiently. You cannot do away with one. You have to combine all of them together. So the common keyboard is known as the QWERTY keyboard. So the common one that you find in front of you is known as the QWERTY keyboard. It's known as the QWERTY key because it was named because of the arrangement of the first 6 alphabetic keys on the first row. So when you look on the first row, you see it's clear, QWERTY. It is QWERTY. Now when you press the Y, it's Z. So now I'm seeing this is Z, but you press campus, this is Y. That's when you press. Then there's a fourth with the Y. There's a fourth on the key. Yeah, so when you press the Z, then it becomes Y. and there's a problem.
Also, for my keyboard, the first one is escape F1, F2. Why is it that the first one is there?
He said, we are talking about the first 6 alphabetic keys. So when you look at where the alphabets are, it begins with the, yes, yeah. Any question? Oh, we should continue. So, computer keyboards have different kinds of keys. These keys can be grouped into 4. Yes, when you look at it, you see different or various types of keys on it. And those keys have been grouped into 4. So we are going to look at the groupings. See, these keys are the typewriter keys, the function keys, numeric keys, and the special purposes and cursor control keys. We are going to look at the typewriter keys. See, these keys are keys that resemble the regular letters, numbers, punctuation marks, and traditional typewriter. When we talk about the traditional typewriter, I think when you go to a room, next to the post office, those people who you say, oh, really, for that one, I don't know. Yeah, that's the traditional typewriter. But when you look at the keys, it's the same thing you can find on this modern one. So that's why sometimes I even tell my students to call it the alphabetic keys. Yes, because it contains the numbers, the alphabet, and the punctuations. Then we are moving on to the numeric keys. The numeric keys are marked from 0 to 9. On the keyboard, I think they are in 2 groups. You can find one below the function keys, then the other side of the computer too. Yes. So those keys are what we term as the function keys. Numeric keys are used for tasks that involve numbers, meaning when you want to do anything involving numbers, you have to use the numeric keys. They start from 0 and ends at 9. They are very useful when you are performing calculations. Then we have the function keys. These are keys on the keyboard labeled F1, F2, F3 to F12. So on the first keys on the keyboard is where you can find the function keys. They've been labeled F1, F2 to F12. They are usually found at the top of the keyboard. They are special keys that are programmed for tasks that occur repeatedly. So meaning their purpose there is for a specific task. Then we have special purpose and cursor control keys. They are used to enter special commands or instructions into the computer. Examples, we have ESC, as my brother said. So the full meaning is escape. That's the escape key. Then we have CTRL key. I think we have 2 on the keyboard. That's the control keys. Then we have DEL, that is the delete. Then we have INS, that is insert. Okay, so when you look at this side of the keyboard, you can find all of them there. Yes, these are the special purpose. Then we have the cursor control keys. These are known, these keys are known as arrow keys or cursor control keys or directional keys. So when you look below the special purposes keys, you find these keys there with the arrows. That's what I'm talking about, the cursor control keys or the arrow keys. These help the computer user to move the cursor in a document or direct movement of objects, usually in computer games. I think most of the guys who are good at computer games, they mostly use the cursor control keys in playing those games. Then some people are very good. They can use these keys to play football. They are very good. They will know, they will press you, and the ball will be running to the other side of the field. They are not a fan of them, so when they are playing, I will just ignore them and go my way. So this is an example of the keyboard. Then we are moving on to the computer mouse. The computer mouse is a pointing device that is used to select and point to objects and commands on the computer screen. Yes, sometimes when I'm teaching this topic, I tell my students that the computer mouse works as the key in the classroom. when we are teaching, we use the cane to point to object on the chalkboard for them to know or identify what we're talking about. But with the computer or with the monitor, you cannot use a cane on it. So there's a device known as the computer mouse that is used to perform the function of the cane on the computer. This is also a pointing device. Okay, so instead of me using my cane, this, I have to use this. Also serve as the mouse. The computer mouse is a pointing device that is used to select and point to objects and commands on the computer screen. The computer mouse has an arrow on the screen that represents the movement of the computer mouse. So when you move the mouse, there is an arrow that can be found. This is the arrow that we are talking about. So when I move, the arrow represents the movement of the mouse. So can you all move your mouse so that you have a feel of what I'm saying? Yes. So that arrow is known as mouse pointer. I think BEC, one of those BEC exams, they got it, they will just draw and ask the student to identify the symbol over there. So the computer mouse has a minimum of 2 buttons, which are used to execute operations on the computer screen. So when you look at the computer mouse, you will realize it has 2 buttons. You have the left mouse button and the right mouse button. But most of the time, when you ask the student to name the buttons of the computer mouse, they write left click and right click. I don't know if you notice. Yes. At least when they do that, mark them wrong to know the correct name. Because left click and right click are operations of the computer mouse, but they are not the buttons or the names given to the buttons. So the 2 buttons are left mouse button and the right mouse button. There is a V. There's a 1 V in between in between the buttons of the computer mouse, known as the scroll wheel. So when you look in between, you will see this wheel over there. That's what I'm talking about. It's known as the scroll wheel. Okay, the scroll wheel make it easy to scroll up, down information that appears on the computer. Aside that, in the olden days, those mouse were also having a 1 ball. Yes, under. But today technology, they replace that with a light, laser light over there for you to move the computer mouse. Please, we are done with the parts of the computer. I hope everyone is clear over there. Yes, today our next topic is turning on the computer. And the computer has been turned on already. I wanted us to go through the step-by-step approach. Yes, because when you guys were turning it on, I realized something. The student comes here and do the same thing. When I ask them to turn, you first turn on the monitor before turning on the system unit. Please, it's not done. The system unit first before the monitor. Okay, so when you are turning on the computer, the process is known as booting. We have other booting as well. We have the code booting and the word booting. The code booting normally deals with the use of laptops. You just press the power button, then everything will come on without following all this process when you are using it. Desktop computers. That's the code booting. And the word booting is restarting the computer. Before we first about the word booting. I hope everyone is clear over there. Okay, so we are going to look at the steps involved in turning on the computer. It says check the cables connected to the system unit. Okay, when we talk about the cables, we are talking about the VGA, we are talking about the cables connected to the mouse, cables connected to the system units, cables connected to the keyboard, and the power cable as well. These are all the cables that we are talking about. You have to check and make sure that they are all in their rightful places. Okay, so after checking, then you check the main socket connection. That is where you are going to turn on your power, the main power supply to the computer. And after checking that, you remove all movable storage devices from the system unit. Yes, so examples of movable storage devices are pen drive, if you have floppy disk, and all those storage devices in the system unit, you have to take them off or take them out before turning on the computer. When that is done, then you press the power button of the system unit first. Okay, after going through, the next step is to press on the power button of the system unit. When you are done, then you press on the power button of the computer monitor. And you wait for a while for all the processing to be done. Then the screen will be on for you. So when you turn on the computer, you will have, well, let's go back. Let me remind this. Okay, when you turn on the computer, this is the screen that you have. This is what we call it the desktop. This is the desktop. When you turn on the computer, the first thing that appears on the screen is the desktop. The desktop is made up of two features. We have the icons and the taskbar. Okay, these are what we first do as the icons. They are the graphical representation of parts and folders of all the programs that have been installed on the computer. So I don't know if you've installed the program before. In the process of installing, they will ask you if you want to create a desktop icon for the program. When you click on yes, after installing the program, the icon will appear on the screen. So as I said, we have two features of the desktop. We have the icons and the taskbar. And taskbar is the bar that one from left to right at the bottom of the computer screen. Mostly you find the computer time, the system tray, and the file explorers and the other stuff on the taskbar. Or the start button can also be found on the taskbar. So if your student doesn't know anything about the start bar, they should use the start button to identify the taskbar. So the taskbar went from left to right at the bottom of the screen, and these are the icons. Then from there, you move on to, because after turning on your computer, you need to work with some of the programs installed on the computer. That is what we refer to as the launching of application. So let's go back to, yes, launching an application. Launching an application means open a program on the computer to use it. So when you're able to open a required program or your preferred program on the computer to use it, the IT can report it as launching an application. And these are the steps. I think you can follow the steps, then go through this process and go through this process together. Move the mouse pointer to the start button and click on it. Please, let's all do it. The start button can be found at the left corner of the taskbar. Okay, then let's go back to the mouse. Let's go back to the mouse. Yeah. In the mouse, we said the mouse has two buttons. We have the left mouse button and the right mouse button. Please, when you hear this text, select, click, double click. Drag and drop, right? Drag and drop. I think, oh, there's another one. Select, click, double click, drag and drop. When you hear this terms, we press or we use the left mouse button. And with the right mouse, it comes with the name. The teacher will ask you if you want to use the right mouse, right click. But with this, you will not hear left click. You only say click. It is up to you to know where to click. But with the right mouse, it comes with the name, right click. And then the teacher will be telling you to press the right side of the computer mouse. But when you hear select, click, double click, then drag and drop, you are using the left mouse. Yes. Is that okay? Okay, thank you. So move the mouse pointer to the start button and click on it. I hope you are all there. So I'm clicking on mine. Then move the mouse pointer to the menu list labeled all programs. But when you click, Adam, you do not click on your start button. Yes, in some computers, you will not see all programs. You will see all apps. It's the same thing. The apps is a short form for applications. But here, with these are computers, automatically, when you click on the start button, the program displays for you. So we don't have any label 10 called all programs on this one. The moment you click on the start button, you find the programs displaying for you. And it has been arranged in alphabetical order, if you can see. Yes. So click on any of the program and allow the application to be loaded in the computer memory for operation. So you can click on any of the programs that you see for it to open. You can click on any of the programs that you see. So allow it to use the one in yes. You can even scroll down. It's up to it has been arranged in alphabetical order from A to Z. So you can even scroll down to be going through the list of programs that have been installed on the computer. And select any one that you want. When you're able to do that, and you find the application open on your desktop, you'll be able to launch an application. So let's assume this is my application. Okay.
Hi, Yaya. Hello, Yaya.
Yeah, tell me.
Is Joshua here? Joshua.
Okay, this is Joshua. Joshua, okay.
Yes. So I'm around. No, I'm around. So I'm following along.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
So we've been able to launch our application. Okay, and we are going to deal with Microsoft Word. So we are going to go through that process to launch Microsoft Word. So can you close the application for me? When you launch an application, at the far end, you get three buttons. They are known as the control buttons. Yes, they are three. We have the minimize button, we have the maximize button, then we have the close. So the X represents the close. So Kadi closed the application for me. Then we are all going to go through this same process to launch Microsoft Word. So let's click on the start button again. Then go through the list of programs and look for Microsoft Office. It's a folder which contains everything about Microsoft. You can follow the arrangement and Microsoft Office. When you find Microsoft Office, no. No, go to the list of programs. Scroll down. So from the list of programs, you'll find Microsoft Office. There's a folder where you can click on it for it to open. Yes, when you open, scroll down and look for Microsoft Word in 2010. Microsoft Word 2010. 2010. Is anyone finding some problem? These are the mouse, are they working properly for you? Yeah.
Bluetooth mode. Turner mode. AUX mode.
So I believe you all have this screen. Yes. We are going to look at the features or some of the things that can come in this screen. When you launch a Microsoft application or window, on the first bar, where you see the name of the application and these three buttons is known as the title bar. Okay, yes, it's known as the title bar. Mostly you have the name of the application launch, or when you launch any program, on top of the program, where you see the name of the program that you've launched, or the application that you've launched, that bar is what we refers to as the title bar. The title bar also has two features. The title bar has two features. We have the Windows title and the control box. These three stars, 1, 2, 3, is what we refer to as the control box. And the name of the application launch is what we refer to as the Windows title. So the title bar has two features. One, we have the Windows title and the control box. We are going to look at the control box. The little one, the little mark or the little box that you see is known as minimize button. When you click on it, it drops an open window onto the taskbar. The program has been launched, it has been opened. But if I should click on it right now, okay, it has dropped to the taskbar with a blue line indicating the window has been opened. So if I want it back, I just have to move to the taskbar and click on it for it to reappear on the screen again. Then the next one is the maximize or the restore button. When you click on the maximize button, it expands an open window to fill the entire computer screen. And when you click on the maximize button, the button changes. Obviously, it is 2. That shows that it has been expanded. Yes. And when you click on it, it returns to restore, but the button changes to maximize. You see the difference? I think, was it 2015 or 2014 VECD? They got this. And when the students saw it, they were all writing maximize, maximize, maximize. And then they also writing restore, restore, restore. So when they came out, it became an argument. Most of the time, when you launch the application, it is always at the restore mode. If you've noticed or you've realized that, most of the time when you launch an application, it is always at the restore mode. Then you have this place with only one. Most of the time when you launch application, it's something like this. You see, you can see the rest on the other side of the screen. Yes. So when you have this kind of, it should tell you that it is on restore. But the maximize, when you click on the maximize, yes, then you have this. Then the last one is the close button. After working with any application, you need to close the application before turning off the. When the student comes here, you ask them to close the application, they move straight to the start button to shut down. And the computer will tell them there's an open application, they need to close it before they can turn off the computer. So anytime when you are done with working with any application, you need to click the X at the far corner to close the application before you turn off the computer. Then, with this modern window, with Windows 7, 8, and 2003, the other features, you find that the other features have been arranged in order. We have the standard toolbar from the title bar, then we come to the menu bar. This is what we call the menu bar. The bar which contains the file, code, set, up to. Yes, that's the menu bar. From there, you come to the standard toolbar. Then you come to the formatting toolbar. Then most of the time, you have the drawing toolbar at the bottom. With this current ones, now they've mixed or they've hidden some of the items on the menu bars. Okay, so here with this Windows 10, you find most of the items of the standard toolbar in file, on the menu labeled file. So if you can focus your mind back to Windows 2003, Windows 7, and Windows 8, you will realize all these items are found on the standard toolbar. Then we have this, the bullets, the alignments, the font style, the font type, the font size on the formatting toolbar. Then the drawing toolbar will be found here by here. Now the drawing toolbar can be found in the insert. So all the items on the drawing toolbar can be found in the insert. Then let's go back. In this area where you do your work or you type your stuff, it's known as the document window or the document area. It's known as the document window or the document area. In Microsoft Word, the default font type should always be Times New Roman. So anytime you are come to type, make sure you come to the font type area. This area, let me use my stick. This area where you see the calligraphy body is known as the font type area. There's an arrow against it. When you click on it, all the list of fonts installed on the computer will appear for you to see. Go through the list and select Times New Roman. Please, let's all do it. That is the default font type. So you should make sure any document that you type, make sure the font type is Times New Roman. It has been arranged in alphabetical order. So you can scroll down to T. Yes, Times New Roman. I think there are one is deeper. It's 3-1. Yeah. Times New Roman. Times New Roman. Times New Roman. I want the Times New Roman. I don't want the special. Yes. I want the Times New Roman. Yes. So anytime you are typing, make sure, because most of the time with official documents, people know you are hard now, or very rejected documents. That is why the university, when we are writing our project work, they will insist we should use Times New Roman as our default font type. Then after, the next box is the font size. You can see a letter there. The default font type, font size is 0.12. I think it's from 4 or 2 to 72. But anytime you are typing or making any official document, make sure you change the font type to point 12. So please, let's all do it. Are we all there? Yes. We want to make some typing before we can use some of the other things or stuff on the window. So let's all type this equal to. Then you type 1. Then into bracket 2. When you are done, you press enter on the keyboard. Type equal to 1 into bracket 2. The number, it depends on you. It's paragraph. So the number of paragraph that you want to have on your page, you can change the number. It shouldn't be 2. At least we are just working on something. So 2 will be okay. No spacing, please. No spacing. So, and if you want to make the brackets open and close brackets, there are 2 shift keys. You press on the shift key, one of the shift key, then you locate the key where you find the open bracket, then press on it. Don't do this, it will not come. Let your finger be on the shift key, then locate the key with the open bracket. Are you all there? Yes. Yes, when you press the extra key, so this is the important. Type out the end. Out the end, so look for out. Then open brackets. So press one finger here. Press it. Yes, then type any number you want to put. We just like the 2. Close brackets. Then press enter on the keyboard. Take off your finger from the side. Press the switch. That's good. We are going to start this. Want to apply some of the features on the window to our record. So now we are starting with the font styles. Okay, the BIU. We are all refers to as the font styles. Font style. The B stands for bold, the I stands for italics, and the U stands for underline. So maybe when you are typing a document and you want to apply one of these items or one of these styles, you first have to select a particular text first. And it says selecting the text means clicking and dragging the IB pointer of this I. This I over there is what we refer to as the IB pointer. We say selecting the text means clicking and dragging the IB pointer across the text to highlight it. And when, as I said earlier, when you are dragging, clicking and dragging, you use the left side of the computer mouse. So you press down, don't release your hand, just press down, hold it, then drag. So I want, yes, as you're doing it, please drag to document. So you drag to these two blocks. Yes, all of us, let's try and do it. Yes, let's click and drag. Place the IB pointer at the back of the text, then drag to blocks. When you are able to do that, you click to select text. Okay. So we are all going to learn how to apply the move. So after selecting, just move to the B and click on it. You see the difference between this and the other test. So just move to the B and click the font star. Click on B. And when you are done, then you select your test to see the difference. Are you all there? Yes, so select another amount of text and apply the italics.
Okay. Yeah, some people feel it uncomfortable using the keyboard to the mouse to select. There is also a way of using the keyboard. So if you want to select with the keyboard, just put the cursor at where you want to start selecting and press and hold the shift key. Then you use the control keys. Hey, okay, I've taken my mouse out, my keyboard out. So you press the shift and hold, then you use the control keys you show. So if you want it to select to the right, you use the right control.
That's what it's talking about. Yeah. Not the CTR keys. So you press on the shift, you put the cursor there. Then it is always good to use the mouse. Yes, the mouse is very, very important. Yes. It's always advisable to do. So you can apply the italics as well. Then you select another amount. Then you use the underline. Okay. So if you want to underline any text that you want, you use the underline. When you're able to do that, you'll be able to apply the font style. Are we all there? This one if you want it to go the front way, you click on it. So now we've all seen or learned something about font styles, their functions. We are moving on to the most important ones, the alignment. When we talk about alignment, the position of text in the document. How you position your text in the document is what we refer to as the alignment. We have the left alignment. We have the center alignment. We have the right alignment. Then we have testify. Okay, there are four. You can see from here. This is left. When you place your mouse pointer on it, the name will appear. So let's all put it on it and see with the alignment. When you place your mouse pointer on it, the names appear for you to see. Then look at the arrangement as well. It goes, then it's shortened. It goes, have you all seen it? B, C, after that. Because the catcher and party said, Omondro. And also the lines in the yes, as you said, with the left alignment, it goes like this. Now, it's also perfect. I don't know someone. Yes. It's Mr. Now come on my red. So that's the left alignment. Then the center alignment is the next one. And it's a certificate, so now, yes, that's the center alignment. And the third one is the right alignment. It also starts from here, something like this. It is almost much of way. And the case at one. We go back to catch say really helpful. So no. Then they justify. Big now, so mostly in the universities, we use the justify for most of our works, especially when we are doing the project works. Yes, big now. Okay, so by default, it's like when we are writing in school, we start from the left to the right. So by default, anytime you are typing, you should make sure the alignment is on the left. Then the next one, which is the center alignment. Most of the times when we are writing as in school, we write the topic after demarcation or demarcating the board, we write the topic in the center. Yes. Then we all use the center. So let's do something. Let's select all. You can do that, or you can click Ctrl+X on the keyboard. But let's try to use the mouse. Mouse space is very, very, very important. You click, they grab all over the text. Yes, even when you look at the left alignment, it goes with the arrangement. So the normal arrangement. Yes. So select all. Select all. Okay. And let's look at like this. Select all. Also, shall arrangement now. Also, pop. Now, in that order with the left alignment. So let's click after selecting one. Let's click on the center alignment and let's see. Say arrangement will follow. Said I believe said a follow. Yeah. Yes. Then let's after that, let's move on to the right. Someone will say a follow pepe. Then justify. Someone also justify at the end, you know, it's also pepe. So when you are asked, maybe in your project work, when you are asked to use justify, you can type. After typing the word, then you select all. Then you click on justify. Arrangement, you know, a better one. Then when you apply the vote to NDIA, also sometimes topics go and I say subtopics go or say extend it out. You just select that particular portion, then you apply or you click on P and select it. Then we have bullets and numbers. We have bullets and numbers. When you look at this portion, we want some small round spots. Oh, then we have the next one as 1, 2, 3. If you have also arrow, let's check. Sometimes you can be given a list of items to write. That's an ability to type. About one. Now you can type everything. When you are done, then you select all. So bullet now power. You just click on the bullet. You click on the arrow. Yes. All these are bullet stars. Okay. It is star open. Then you select. After the make a match, I said. Yes. When you now your bullet stars, we are afraid of bullet stars. It's in the open.
Sorry. I want to make sure you are sharing the right screen.
I think,
Yeah, I just did it.
Okay. So with the bullet stars that you want, then you click. So let's select. Okay, let's do this. We are going to apply all of these bullet stars. So let's select the first two lines and apply one of the bullet stars. Then move on to the next. Then we apply. Yes. Just press enter and shift. And that's all coming to you. Then press enter.
My keyboard.
Keyboard.
It's
Select a different one.
I want this.
Yes. Number one. So all these are bullet stars. You can select. Select this one. Yes, if you have keyboard, you can type. If we have a new sentence, then click on enter to drop down. Like this one, you can place the cursor here. So place your cursor here, click on it. The cursor will show that you press enter. All this will move down to begin a new. So where there is a full stop, you can place your cursor behind, then press enter so that you give it a new font, bullet star, a different bullet star. Yes, so you can use the numbers as well, so that we move from that area. You can use the numbers as well. Is that agree the numbers? You can use the numbers as well.
On-screen keyboard. If I could have search.
Is anyone there? Yeah. Okay, well, let's continue. Then, maybe in the course of your typing, you type all your tests in small letters. Then you want to make some portion capitals, or you want to make the entire text capital. You don't need to delete everything. Okay, you just have to select the portion or the entire text. Then you come here. You come to this place, change case. You see the big A and the smaller A. There's an arrow against it. When you click on it, then you select the uppercase so that all the text will change to the block. Please click on the yes. You see that portion has changed or has set it to capital.
No, it's because you have already
Because
justified.
It's unjustified. The alignment is unjustified. Are you on there? If it's a small text, you can select that particular text. Then you go to the change case, the small a and the capital A, then click on it. And select. So there's no need for you to, and I'm aware that I'm typing the capitals. After I circle the it happens. Then we have these two A's over there. They are also used to decrease and increase the font size. So that's what where you have selected. And watch the font size. If I click on this one, the number will increase. And the text, it will have an effect on the text. Are you there? And if I click on this small A2, it will decrease. So let's see something. Are you watching? Okay, if I click on the big capital A, if I want it more than that, but always make sure that the default font size is 0.12. But sometimes we may be doing some designs or we may be making posters, so we want to make it readable and big, then you can increase. But official document, as you and I know, creating letters, writing letters to directors and the rest, those are for upgrading. It should always be 0.12. Then there's another one that I want us to look at so that we'll wrap up. Sometimes you can be asked to insert images or pictures into your documents. You can type insert images or graph or objects into your document. So you come to where, so this is our test. This is our first. Okay, let's go with clip art first. Then we will come to the images. When we understand the clip art, then we will learn how to insert our own images. But those of you here will lack small because we don't have cameras on their machine. By here, you'll be comfortable with it. So we will use the clip art so that when you are, the next time you come there, you happen to be behind. Next time you can see so that we connect all, so that they can also have access. So let's assume you want to add a clip art to this image or to this text. You will come to the insert menu and click on it. And there you will have table, picture, clip art, shapes, smart art, chart, and screenshot. Then you said that, and screenshot. Then you will come to clip art. But first, you have to select where you want your image to be. That's the most important thing. You have to decide where you want your image to be in the text. If you want your image to be here, you will click there. After everything, you will find it there. If you want it below the text, you select. The position of the image depends on the user. So please kindly select where you want your image to be before you go to the clip art and select. Are we all there? I will continue. So when you click on clip art, the clip art yes, when you click on the clip art window will appear at your right side of the screen. Please click on the clip art. Yes, so this is what I'm talking about. When you click on the clip art window will appear at the right side of the screen. Then here you will have search for. So you can type any keyword. If that keyword is in the computer dictionary, the image will appear here. Do you get me? So you type any keyword, it can be dog, school. Then when you are done, you click on go. You type in the search area the keyword there, then click on go. If the keyword is in the computer dictionary, the image of the keyword will appear at this place for you. It can be school, dog, animal. Let's type in the keyword, any keyword. That's the click on go. Type any keyword at the search for column. It is a guy asking for the helmet team. So then if you have an image here, there is an arrow. You can click on that arrow. Right click, yes, you will find insert. Then click on the insert. Right click on the image. So you can right click on the image that has appeared at the area. You will find insert. When you click on the insert, the image will appear at the selected place in your window, in your document window. Are we all there? Are we all there? Yes. When the image appears in your document window, it is known as inline graphic. For you to be able to insert that image into your window or into your text, it is known as inline graphic. It is known as inline graphic, meaning you cannot move the text with the image. Are you there? So go click the insert for me. Let's look at something. Try to move the, oh, it's too big. We want to see the text, so minimize it for me. Use the so these buttons around the image is known as the sizing buttons. Yes, sizing buttons. It's used to increase, decrease, expand. Yes.
Where's my? Sorry. That's an hour. This way. Is this fine? Oh, there is some text here. Okay, you want, okay, then
I want to see the text together with the,
okay.
Together with the image. Okay. So try to move, click in the middle, and try to move and let's see. You see, it's not moving. Obviously, it's not moving. Yes. Meaning it has formed parts of the. When, as I said, if you're able to insert the image to the text, it's known as inline graphic. Meaning it does not become part of the text because you cannot move. But if you want the text to be part or the image to be part of the text, it is known as floating graphic. So after that, you click on the format, then select text wrap. Then select tiles. Click on tiles. Yes, then try to move the image. Okay, you see, so this is graphic. When you're able to move the image around the text, it's known as graphic, floating graphic. Okay, let's go back. Please select in the middle of the text. Select it. Click in the middle of the image to select it. Yes. Now what you've done for you to be able to insert the text, the image in the text, is known as inline graphic. But you cannot move the image. But if you want to move the image around the test is known as floating graphic. And we do that by clicking at the format. You will see test bar. There's an arrow against it. Click on that arrow, then select type. Click on click. Yours is wrong, click. Test bar. Test bar. When you do that, you can take the image to any place. Someone, it's less than that, it's not a floating graphic. But when you're able to insert this inline graphic, the inline graphic, you cannot move the image around. Is that you are able to do that? Is that you are able to do that? If you are able to do that, in the inline graphic, there's an click like that and move. Yes, you can move the image to any position in the document window. We have square. We have other. Yes, when you click on square, I think it will form. Okay, let's try the square and let's see. Let's look at the other. But in all, you can move the image around. Yes, in the document, and it's known as floating graphic. So let's click on the square and let's see.
So what the square is doing is that when you put it on the text around where the image is supposed to be will
go off.
Okay.
So sometimes in books, you see they'll have the image here, then the text follows. They use all these things. So you can select any.
Top and bottom.
What? Top and bottom. So some will be up, the text will be up, and some of the text will be down. You see. So also if we test no also image no one, not test no because at the end of the day, you can move the image to any place, different floating graphic. So even without applying this, when you select in the middle of the text for your image to appear, you see how some of the text will move up and some will come down. As I said, at the end of the day, how to move the image to all corners of the text is the most important part. When you are going to move the image, you're going to put it graphic. And when you set the image, it's known as inline graphic. That's what I said. As I said, very good. It's young how to insert clip art. The same process and a layer for picture. So let's go to insert pictures. And we take it's a other. As a webcam, okay, I'm going to make you the or connect another channel. We are now with my next person. Yes. The next time, I think I'm going to do picture but I don't think you allow. No, but they should use the webcam. So they usually worry. We shall get that those things in the next meeting. Okay. We are now passing. We are just the next person. Okay. You first have to. Please go to the start button. Go to the start button first. Then look for camera from there. Please go to the start button, go to the start button. Then for the list of programs, look for camera. The picture.
So you take the picture, then you
Let's click on this button. As a usual, yes. So after taking your picture, if you want to insert your picture in the test, then you come to the insert button on the menu bar. Then click on the insert. Then you select picture. The insert picture dialog box will appear. You will find that your picture is in the camera roll. Those who have taken your pictures. Then the next folder is save pictures. Maybe if your computer is yours, then you have some pictures on it. You can put it at the same picture column. Okay, so we all have our pictures here at the camera roll, right? It's a folder, so double click to open. Double click to open. Yes, when we say double click, pressing the left one button twice in the quick succession. Yes, yes, you've already double clicked yours already. You'll find your image there. Select above 10. So you just select one. When okay. Yes, so select the image, click here on one of the pictures. Here is how I was selected. When you are done, then you come here. Wait, when you select the file name, the title of the picture name will appear at the file name column. Then you select insert, then your image will appear in your document. Are we all there?
Who is not there?
So, yes, when you're able to insert your picture in the document, it is known as inline graphic because you cannot move unless you apply the text wrap as we did for the left hand, so that you'll be able to move your image to any place that you want in the document. Are you all clear? Are you all clear? Any question? Any question? I think we have to bring our lesson of work to this part because the needful or the most important aspect of it, because in tertiary, I don't know, we've all been there. Sometimes they'll ask us to put pictures and other stuff in our documents. This is how we do it. And our type is also there. I'm also there. Kuti na you have anything to add? I think I'm done with the red. Okay. Please, any question on the red? You can be taking pictures and be Yes, okay, then let's look at shapes. How to insert shape to. Yes, how to insert shapes. Okay, so let's do this. Come to file and select a new document. Select a new document. Those of us who are there, please come to file.
This is fine.
And select new. Click on new. New. Yes. Then click on new. Please click on it. Then go to create. Yes, a new document will come, and let's use that to work on the shapes. Are you on there? So please go to file. Then click on file. Then go to new. Let's try to insert some shapes. We are now going to use this mouse skills. Click and drag or drag and drop. We are going to learn how to insert or draw shapes with the drawing toolbar. Okay, we are going to learn how to draw with the drawing toolbar, and all the shapes can be found at insert. So please let's click on the insert. Let's click on insert, then go to shapes. Very good. So we are going to draw some of these items. So one, we are going to first draw line. Yes. So click on line. And in list, let's observe something here. As I said, with this window, now here, this area is known as the drawing canvas, because that is where we are going to draw. But all I read, it was the document window or the document area. But when you are drawing objects like these shapes, this area is known as the drawing canvas, because it accepts the drawing that you want to make or draw. So let's click on the line, then click. When you bring it to the drawing canvas, the mouse pointer changes to a plus sign. Okay, you just click and drag and draw to the length that you want. Then you release. At your belt in draw. Obi to me draw. Just draw any line. It should be diagonal. Just click that line. Then you draw. Very good. Now, all the items, all the shapes that you see here, these are here. Yes, when you click on, when you select, then you click and drag, you will have what you see. With the exception of rectangle and oval, with the exception of square and circle, because in the list, we don't have, please not all the, in the list, we don't have square in it, but we have rectangle. We don't have circle, but we have oval. But if you want to draw a square, we have to develop that from the rectangle. But apart from that, the rest, when you click, you just drag to the side that you want, and it will appear. So let's try to draw a square out from rectangle. So the square, you select rectangle. So please let us select the rectangle. Yes. Are you all there? Select the rectangle. What did you need for us? Also, the two are rectangle there. So you can say you draw a square out from the rectangle. It's another way. What the heck you yes. So after selecting, don't draw or draw a square, open a rectangle. You want to get a square. So on the shift key, press on the shift key, then click and drag, open a square. Then make a matter say. You press on the shift key, then you click and drag. When you are done drawing, then you get your square. No, hold it. Click, press it down. Come on. And hold select a rectangle on corner, yeah, you get a rectangle. I want to have you don't have square among the list. So you want to draw a square from the rectangle. So you select the rectangle, and you bring the polygon and cross contact to the right. Then you press down to 60. You get please, are we all there? Are we all there? Very good. Then we have the next item on the list is oval. We don't have circle. The same procedure that we use for the square, that same procedure we are going to use for the circle. So you select oval, you bring your cross pointer into the drawing canvas, You press the switch key down while holding, then you click and drag. You will get a circle from the oval. It's over. It's not circle. It's over. So, please, you want to give it color. Okay, no, we are going to draw Ghana map. The Ghana flag. Yes. We are going to draw the Ghana flag. So, since you've been able to do this, just click in the middle and click on the delete key so that they all go up. Click in the middle. And you press delete on the keyboard. Middle. Yes, click in the middle. That's select. And press delete on the keyboard. Let's delete all. Delete everything. Yes. Let's click on it. Just click on it. And delete. Yes. You all know the shape. It comes with a rectangle, another one. Yes. So we are going to draw three of them. But I was saying it's super pens. I have never shown the creativity. Right. I have to draw up. So that's the idea. Not a system of them. Yes, we will give it color. All right. So select square. Select the rectangle. You know the size out there. So you draw a first rectangle. Now from here, position. Well, let's go. Please watch here. We are guiding you. So select. Yes. Then draw your first. Go, Kaka. It's okay. Please look at the size. The size also depends on you. But they all should have the same size. If you buy what's the house to check? Now accessory the so I like it. So let's go back. After drawing first one, you go back to select again. Very good. See, probably see. Let's see the very top. No, very good. Answer.
Mr. Omombo, remember I take a crowd.
Very good. Then you select another one. Atomosha I don't know. Or set glass no. This portion no. Line with the line no. Now we need supposed to say the basis super pair. As I was the one never shift it. So very well actually I haven't answered. I answered. Very good. But I know. I hear me. Then we select the star. Select star, then draw. Okay. Okay, let's try to. That's what the three.
No.
Okay, six. Right. Yes. Oh, yeah, now we have control it. Sorry.
Okay. Should we change the color?
Please, the position of the black star is very, very important. I mean, I'm very. Please, are we all set? We are going to apply the colors. Okay. We are all waiting for the rest so that we need to get up. And now can please, I hope to be able to wait. So let's go. Now we want to apply colors to our flag. We have red, yellow, green. So the first box, we all know is red. So click inside the red. Click inside the first box, please. Click inside. Then on top, you see shape fill, shape outline, shape effect. There's an arrow against the shape fill. Click on it to select your color. Shape fill, you select your color. The first one is red. You click the format. You do the same thing. Bacteria. That's not black. So we want to change the outline to also a mono or say a black. So you click on the line. If the other can keep the line, salary, right in America, you click on it, that's the shape outline. When you click on it, then you go to then you go to shape outline. Then you select black, now effect. No, then you do the same thing. For the next box.
I should do for them.
Yeah, shape outline. Yeah. You are no man. Outline black. So you click on the outline of the shape, then you go to shape outline. Then, are you happy with your Ghana flag? Are you? And we have shape effect as well. We have shadow, reflection, glow, soft edges, bevel, 3D rotation. So how you want your flag to be, when you go to shape effect, you select someone on the eye. So then I'll select the second one. Now let me select them. Then let me go to another same effect. 3D. Let me pick this one. So how you want the effect to be depends on you. You can select any of the and the last one. Okay, so that is my effect. I can only do it with my shadow. We have shadow too. Shadow. Where you want your shadow to appear. Select all these things are effects that will make your design look very nice. Is any question? If you have another, yeah, okay, Ashraf, you can also design any other flag that you have in mind. So our brother has just informed me about something. Okay, you know, we took three separate squares to draw this, so we can easily, yes. So now we want to make all of them one, put them into one. Did you get me? We want to have all of them as one, so that we will not be able to pick the red, pick yellow. Yes, so we are going to try that one too. We go to format again. Then we go to group. Yes, this. Then we select.
So we have to select all of them first. So let me do that.
Okay, do it.
My keyboard. So if you want to select all, you press Control and hold. Okay.
Control
and hold. Yes.
Control.
And then you click on the next one you want to select. You see, the two have been selected. So you click on the next one again. Then you click on your star. Okay, I'm not getting my star. and then you click on your line 2. So they've all been selected. Then you now group them by just clicking on this.
I think there's an arrow against it, so click on the arrow, so group this, then you come to group.
Group. Okay, it works. So now you cannot move one alone. They are now together. When you move, they'll all move together. Hey, what am I doing here? I think I was copying. The process again.
Yeah.
So now we drew different circles. So we can easily move one of them, especially when you are doing something, you mistakenly move one. Now we want to group them together so no one can move around. So by doing that, we first have to select all the shapes we've drawn. So if you want to select all of them, you will select one by clicking on it. Then you press your control on the keyboard and hold. You don't release it. And click on the next one.
Don't take off your finger.
The next one until you select all of them.
And select the next one until you select all.
Is that done? Yeah. If that is done and you are already on format, no problem. But if you are not on format, go to format. You have.
There's an arrow against it.
Then you click on the group. Then they will be grouped. The same way, if you want to ungroup it, that same place, you come here and then.
So, please, is there any question? I think we are done for the day. So we are going to learn how to save this. Okay, we are learning how to save any document. It's the same process, even if it's text image. We are going to learn how to do it. So after, please, how are you? Please, let's bring our mindset, please. It's either, for the first time, it's either on the keyboard, you press Ctrl+S, or on top of the file, you see the same button there, your left. Yes. Or you click on file. When you click on file, you have save and save as. Okay. So let's click on file and let's select save as. Let's click on file and let's select save as. And click on save as. The save as dialog box will appear on your screen. Okay. Hey, well, come on. Okay. The save as dialog box will appear on your screen. When you look at this place, they are all locations, except no, this side. They are all locations where you want your image to be saved. If you want it on the desktop, you select desktop. If you want it in the downloads folder, you select the downloads folder. If you want it in document, you select document. So this allocation, after selecting where you want your image to be saved, then you type in your name at the file name column. It is always advisable to use a name to save your file, so that when you are going to look for it, you use that name to look for your file. When you are done, then you press save. If you don't want to save, then you press cancel. Are we on there? Yeah. You go to file, save as, you select your location, then the file name, you type in the name you want to use to save the file. Then below, you will see save and cancel. Then you click on save.
So the save and my distance will be.
You can see.
Should I save? So save your cancel here.
Are we all there? Yes. Are we all there? When you are done saving, then you close your application. You close your application. No, close. So close the application. What's the first last and it's rubber? Previous ones my answer. So you have to close all. So close every application that you open. As a previous ones in answer, it's a baba, it's close here. Baba, you want to say, click on not save. Why? I am called. So it's a close application. Okay, wait.
Even Joshua said he wanted, oh, he has left.
He left.
Yeah, he said he wanted introduction. Let me come here. So, what do we have to do? I should close it.
Let's close it.
Now, who is doing the recording? I should end it.
So let's close. That is the closing of all the applications. Yes. Now we are going to turn off the computer. The process using turning it on is different from turning it off. Before you turn off the computer, you need to close all applications that you have opened. When you are done, then you come to the start button and click on it. Applications closing. Don't say. Please click on the start button. On top of the start button, you will see the power button there, like this. Click on it. On top of the power button, you will see the power button there. Click on it. It will give you 3 options. You will have sleep, shut down, and restart. Please select shut down. So let's shut down. Wait for the screen to go off.
But they are doing it. No. They are doing it, so we can just do this.
Yes, so you wait for the screen to go off. When the screen goes off, then you turn off the monitor. Yes, put off your monitor. No, wait. Yes, then you put off your monitor. Then you cover the cameras for us. Then you place the covers on it. Then after everything, you switch off the main. At this place, this side you can turn it off. The main switch over there. By here, I'll do it myself because I'm using this one. Yes.
Mr. Edward. Okay, please, just a quick one.
Make sure you turn off the main switch after turning off the computer. Yes, that's why.
Please, just a quick one. The last thing we did was to see. Saving your file is very, very important when you are working. Mostly for me, that's the first thing I do. When I create a file, I save it before I start working, especially when you are using machines that are plug and play. Because the power can just go off and you will lose everything. So you have to save your work at the beginning of the whole thing. And if you work small, you save along the line until you finish your work. So that even if the PC goes off, you won't lose your work. Like he was explaining, once you save it, it's stored in the secondary memory, which is the hard disk. So for that one, even if the PC goes off, you will still have it. And then again, what we did today is basic work. This is the basics. So we will have to learn the rest. At least we know how to insert a picture, we know how to insert a sheet. So if you want to insert a smart art, it's the same thing. Like you want to draw pie charts or bar graph or those kind of things. The same procedure we use. So what I would like to add up is that anytime we have the opportunity to sit by the PC, we should explore more. Like Leticia said, you go to places you don't know. When you get lost, you can still come back, or maybe even if you get jams, they can be fixed. So let's use the opportunity to maybe explore other areas of work. We were were not able to touch on today, because it's highly impossible for us to do everything here. Thank you. That's just what I want to add.
There's a question.
Yeah.
With the say,
Okay.
there was say and see that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
For the sale and say that, there is say that is used to see the document or a text for the first time, and the sale is used to see the document or a text, maybe for the second time or when you edit or format something.
Are you okay?
Yeah,
As
so-
you say, as in the beginning, you say, as you are doing, there will be saving. So there's no need for you to, after using the same as, there's no need for you to go back to the same as you are working. You just be pressing, you start small, then you press save. Or you use Control plus S to be doing that.
Yeah, let me just add up. When we were in school, we do copy a lot. So when someone do the assignment, I go and then I just edit few things and then I add my name to it. So with the save as is used when you want to save the file with a different name or at a different location, then you use the save as, so it will give you the opportunity to change the name. And then maybe you can change a few things there.
The computer is a device that accepts data and process. I want to ask you, why do a computer? Because it accepts data based
Let's go and find out.
Is a human being a computer? No, but you got
You see, yeah, I just, this brings about something, the history of computers. There's a lot of Romo around 5, it is called a computer. Yes, so I just read about it and I found the main source of where the name came from. At first, human beings do a lot of mathematical calculations. When you want to do research and you want to analyze data and all that, there are special human beings whose brain was like very active that can do a lot of complex calculation within some seconds. So it was, history says that after the Second World War, when there was an industrial revolution, we need to process large amount of information to be able to, like for the industries. So there were special human beings who do that kind of calculation. And if someone says to compute, meaning to calculate, so those kind of people, we used to call them computers. So this person is a computer, he computes. So when the electronic devices were made to replace those people, we named them computers. So maybe it's right that
I guess like a human being is a computer. The answer is that human beings, like human is not the issue. Whereas the computer is the machine. Human being has a brain, but the computer has a brain. Computer needs to be updated for better process. But human being like to thank our Yaya CD. Let us clap for them. So our fees are really, we shall take some good photo and then we will leave, right? I will take some two interviews from Madam and then one maybe but so I will gender of we would like to know really how you enjoy the session and all that. We've also sent in some survey. After this training, we would like to know what you expect that we do, right? What you did now and what you want us to do moving forward. So we even posted it on the platform, WhatsApp platform, and we also provided a Google Classroom. So please, those of you with Android or even iPhone, just download the Google Classroom, right? And the password has been sent on the WhatsApp platform. Enter into it. It has a lot of resources and from there, whatever assignment, everything is going to be on there. We just enter and then we are good to go, right? Okay, thank you so much. And then we take our good picture and we leave. Thank you so much. All right, so please before that, we have a duration for our class. Right now, so we have to really ask you how long do you want it to be? Do you have a 2 hours, 1 hour? What is it? Or until all you want to see on the platform, right? Yeah, so that you get to know that. Yeah. So thank you so much. One thing is that we do not, you see, we are trying to be very democratic, right? And then in democracy, power belongs to the people, right? So, and you are adults, you don't have to be. So maybe you say, fine, how do you want to do it? 2 hours, 3 hours, so I think what is missing in there is we shall edit it. In the summary, we ask you how many times do you want us to have this in a month. So maybe we have to add the duration, right? So we can get the data and understand the statistics, right? So based on that, based on the responses, we need to understand. So maybe people will edit it. So all the time, we don't want to increase. Yeah, but see, they are also American people. American police in the class. So they regardless speak your mind. Everybody's. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. The conflict of the entities yeah, that's what I'm saying. Let's see, a lot of you, when you see originally, you realize it should be every third Saturday of the month. This is our original requirement. And why? Why are we saying this? We were saying that you don't want to steal your Saturdays. I know a lot of you have a tight schedule, you know, yes, please everything. So we can also check all those things we ask actually we ask in the questionnaire. I get that. So the answers that will come, we are going to use. So let's get here. You can take the pictures here, right? Or here. Yeah. Every now and then, there's nothing we do without the mathematics. And so having ourselves applying this particular knowledge, I think is necessary. We are beautiful. Madam, welcome. That's it. Tell us your name and the school that you teach. And how was it to you? You start with Okay.